Alright, so Planar Fissure is about to release in not too long. It's already out in Asia and EU servers, and there's about 3 hours as I'm uploading this till it comes out on NA. So as per usual, I'm here going over every single world, letting you know what you should and should not farm, also with some upcoming character info. So double the drops, double the garbage, let's get into it. So there's a lot of worlds now. I'm going to briefly be going over each and telling you what I recommend and recommend not farming. So this video is going to be fast paced, otherwise this video would be like 40 minutes long. Anyway, starting with the first one, we got Space Station and Ageless. Don't do this. Both sets are super outdated. Space Station no one uses, Ageless no one uses anymore. It's still usable, but as a supporter set it is outdated. Don't farm this one. Talia and also Vonwacq. Talia is no longer a set you should consider because the Dahlia implants fire weakness, so the Forge set is always better. So even for the characters that weren't Firefly, Himiko, Linkshot, whatever, you use Forge set on them too. Vonwacq still a really good set in this game, not only for zero cycles, but also just for any good setups. But for this one, I would Relic Remains on Vonwacq instead, just because Talia is not worth it. Pan Cosmic and also Celestial Differentiator. Pan Cosmic, don't really bother with this anymore. It's only really used if you need to hit effect hit requirements on a character that has effect hit rate, but otherwise than that, it's never best in slot. Celestial Differentiator, if you use this set on any of your characters, please stop playing the game. The set is horrible. Do not farm this world. Belobog and Salsotto. Belobog is the best in slot for two characters that are relatively obsolete now, being Preservation Trailblazer and Japard. So it only has value if you're like an earlier player, and by that I mean an earlier game player, like you started recently and then you have to use this on one of them since you use them for a sustain. Flip side, Salsotto, while this can be good, it's only really best in slot for someone like Saber or Argenti, since for the follow-up portion there is Duran, which is just better. So if you want Salsotto specifically, I would just use Relic Remains. Rutilant and Keel. Rutilant is still good for anyone that can use it. For characters that did have this in best in slot that got a new set, such as Phynon with Arcadia or Archer with the Tengoku set, this set is usually never really that far behind. It's usually within like 1 to 3%. So it's still pretty good to farm. The only thing is it's paired with Keel. While Keel still isn't bad, usually supports nowadays, and anyone who uses a supportive set on wants 5% energy regen on it. So unfortunately, this is not necessarily worth it anymore, as Keel is pretty outdated. So if you do need Rutilant, I would use Relic Remains. Glamoth and Penacony, both are still good sets. People that can use Glamoth and hit the speed thresholds can use this pretty frequently. It used to be great on the dock characters when you were able to hit high speeds, but a lot of them aren't really built with that speed anymore. Besides Kafka, but Kafka is a support now. But stuff like E2 Zele and just any general DPS that are able to hit the 160 speed and do get benefits from damage percent and attack can use this still. Flip side, Penacony is actually still pretty good. Gives you the energy regen that the support would need and 10% damage. So if you have a character you use alongside another one that has the same type as the wearer, such as wind with wind or physical with physical, then you can use this, but that of course depends on your situation. So if you just need one or the other, of course Relic Remains. Unclaimed Desolation and the Izumo set. Unclaimed Desolation, you don't really use this on anyone. It's mainly a pure fiction set, while you still can stack a good amount out of it. Generally just not worth it, since other sets perform similarly or better even when this is fully stacked and work better in other modes. Flip side, Izumo, this set is pretty hailed, but honestly I feel like if you're able to hit a crit ratio that's good on a different set, it's always going to outperform Izumo, so that's why I never necessarily recommended this. But of course, if you use Facial alongside Asheville or Moze or whatever team comp you have that do use them and you do need the crit rate and they're also an attack scaler, then of course you can use it. But for the most part, I wouldn't necessarily recommend using your drops on this world. Now we have Duran and Forge. Duran is valuable for any follow-up attack character if they use follow-up attacks at a good frequency to stack this up. So the main ones being Fei Xiao, also like Asheville, counter units like Yunli, and they have the frequent follow-up attacks to stack this up quick, or maybe you just have a teammate that can help you. Then this is usually their best in slot, and then on the flip side we have Forge, which is best in slot for every break character. So if you are someone that has follow-up and break, of course this is going to be one of the most valuable worlds for you to farm. However, if you have one or the other, then of course you would do Relic Remains. Lushaka and Bananamusement. So with Lushaka, this is a set that really anyone can benefit from. This set is probably the best supporter set in the game still. So that's why it's so valuable to the point you can actually isolate this. Usually I don't recommend only farming a world where you just have one ornament where you can get, because it reduces your chances by a lot, but Lushaka is that valuable that I could recommend it. As for Bananamusement, this set is usually best to solve for just someone like Ageless or Jingwon. Characters who can technically use it like Topaz or Lingsha, they have better options. However, with the Dawning synergy and you can attach Bondmate, the summon, to give them the effect, you can still use this. So if you use Dawning a lot, you can actually use this for your main DPS alongside Dawning, because Dawning would be the condition you do need to activate it. So if that gives you some form of benefit to farming this alongside Lushaka, because again, anyone will benefit from Lushaka, then of course this is reliable reliable, but even if you don't, I just recommend it because Lushaka is just that valuable. Now we have Bone and also Giant Tree. So the Bone set, best in slot for any HP character that wants to do damage. So all the main DPSs like Castrus, Evernight only really has one option that's kind of competitive to it, but Bone usually is the better one. Mind Aging, Blue Blade, so on and so forth. Some DPSs like Tribute at the same time. So if you really have any combination of that, Bone set is valuable. On the flip side, Giant Tree is technically the best in slot for any healer. If you were able to hit high speed thresholds, like it gives you the speed and helps you get to the 180 threshold. Best in slot for the best healer in the game being Hyacinth, and she has to be built with 200 speed anyway, so by a product you finish this. But if you were able to put it on the Ultra or Gallagher, the best healing output you would get from them would be coming from this set on them. So if you have healers that can benefit from this, of course, then this set would have value. Otherwise, if you just have one or the other, like if you just have Hyacinth, you don't have HP scalers you use, then you would use Relic Remains on the Giant Tree set, and vice versa. If maybe your Hyacinth's already done, you can't really get much upgrades, or maybe you have HP scalers that don't necessarily use Hyacinth, even though she's kind of on all their teams, to be honest. If you're that one oddball out, then of course Relic Remains. Now we have the Arcadia set and also the Revelry set. So Arcadia is really only on two characters, being Phynon and Evernight. So Phynon and Evernight both have sets that are competitive to this one, and this one came later, so there was a chance you already had the other set, and so it wasn't really worth the farm. Arcadia is only about 3% better for Phynon, and conditionally can be better for Evernight as long as you have, the whole team full of Memo Sprites, or just, mainly getting the requirement. But Bone set usually performs similar, if not better, especially as a sub DPS for Castrus, which most people do, where Bone set would always be better. So that's why Arcadia itself has value, because it's on two strong characters, but they already had better options since Phynon had Rutilant, which again is only like 3% worse. Maybe even less, I don't remember. It was just around like the 2%-ish, so I just said 3% to give it more leeway, but it could honestly be 2% or even 1%. And then for Evernight, she had the other option. On the flip side, Revelry, this is best in slot for any dock character doing damage, so Hyacinth, Black Swan, and then if you have the force options like Sampo or Gleniphin, then of course they would be having this as well. The only one that really doesn't use it on that team that is a dot unit is Kafka, because she is once again a support that uses Lushaka instead. So if you are a dot user, of course this is going to be valuable for you, although it's a lot easier to build dot characters because you just use speed and effect hit rate. So if you've had dot characters for a while, you probably already have sets, but if you want to use upgrades, then of course that is going to have value to you. But of course make sure you have at least Phynon or Evernight, so there's a chance you can upgrade it to the slightly better set. Well, mainly Phynon, because again, Bone set's usually always going to be better for Evernight. So in that case, you could farm it, otherwise Relic Remains. And now the Amphoreous set and also Tengoku set. So Amphoreous set is only really used on two characters, being Cyrene and also RMC if you want, as they can fulfill the requirements very easily. Others can too, but they don't have sets that are like significantly better as opposed to the other ones. Like you wouldn't put this on your Hyacinth because she can't really use the crit rate since she's guaranteed anyways, and then speed, while it's good, she has the Giant Tree set to help more. And then for the DPSs, they all have their Bone set and stuff. And then for Aglia, there's Bananamusement. You get what I mean. So you mainly put it on RMC or Cyrene. If they're on the same team, you would just give it to one or the other. So just having those two gives that set value, which RMC is free and you probably do use them, so that's good. But that obviously depends if you are using some other supportive set on your RMC instead. Tengoku set, best in slot for Sparksy, best in slot for any skill point DPS that can consume this, so it would mainly be looking at Archer and also Sparksy. For older ones, QQ, IO Donhang. For Archer, it's not much better than Rutilant, so you don't have to go out your way to farm this, but for Sparksy, this is one of the only sets she can necessarily use, and it really is made for her. Like, come on, Tengoku at live stream. Anyway, so yeah, if you have Sparksy, this set would be valuable. Then if you have characters, which you probably do have Archer because he was free, naturally that would also have value for you. So if you do have those characters as a combination, then of course this is valuable. Just need one or the other, then of course Relic Remains. Finally, we have the Punklorde set and also the Converging Stars set. So the Punklorde set is going to be the best in slot for any Elation DPS. That isn't Sparksy because she has Tengoku, and Tengoku is slightly better. But for the upcoming characters that are going to mainly be DPSs, such as Evanescia or level 999 Silverwolf, then of course this is going to be the one they are going to mainly use. So if you are looking up to getting them, then of course you want to make sure you do get some sets here, as this would be valuable for you. And then on the flip side, this set is usable. You mainly would put it on Asheville if you're running him more as sub DPS, which is his primary role. Well, not now, just because you want to run hyper carry, since that's the best teams and Duran is better for that. But you can still put it on the sub DPS on your follow-up teams, like you can put it on Cypher instead on the Facial team. And then again, of course, you can put it on Asheville. You can put it on your Moes for your Asheville or Facial team, so on and so forth. So So if you do have that sub DPS on those follow-up teams, then this would be a set that someone can hold that would benefit them as long as they're attack scaling. So most of them are. So Asheville, Cypher, Moze, Topaz, so on. They do get the benefit from the attack. So if you do have the desire to get the future Elation characters that are going to be DPSs, then Punklorde has value for you. And if you also do have the combination of follow-up characters that could hold the set, then it would have value. Otherwise, Relic remains. And that is it for the video. As you can tell, it's really just picking a world that does have 2 ornaments that are valuable to you, just so you have double the chance to get something, because you don't want to end up farming one where you only have value to one and then you get a bunch of good pieces for the other one and you don't really have a use for that, and you potentially won't, so it's just like whatever. You probably won't be getting much good out of this event anyways. There really is just kind of like an XP / relic remains event, but it's best to maximize your odds. For an example, I personally am probably going to be using my runs on this one right here, just because I have a good amount of HP scalers. Actually, I have every HP scaler that can use this set, and I have some characters that do want some upgrades, and I also want to move Cyrene to this set just because it's better for her DPS, and my Cyrene is a DPS, so I want to do that. And on the flip side, I can use some Hyacinth upgrades. I have a piece that I think is the orb. I don't remember if it's the orb or rope, but it can be replaced to get my Hyacinth an even better build, which would be nice. So that's why I'm probably going to do this, as it does have double the value for me. But I have multiple options, like I could do Lushaka, as I have every support that can benefit from Lushaka. Bananamusement, I have Ageless that can use better pieces, so on and so forth. So just pick a world that does have 2 times its value, and then you'd be good to go. But that is it for the video. I do hope you found this video helpful. If you did, dropping a like would be greatly appreciated. If you're new to the channel or haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell for future videos like this, along with all other types of style content. Asheville is the coolest unit in the game. You can't prove me otherwise. Anyway, see ya.